This is my new to me 1997 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo Sport, a ZJ, with the 5.2 liter V8 engine. And I've genuinely been waiting years to make this video. I lost my 96 Grand Cherokee about 2 years ago. I purchased it 3 years ago and worked on it for an entire year. It was a bucket of bolts, that thing. It was a rust bucket for sure, through and through. I got it cheap locally where I was living at the time and just worked on it every single day throughout the winter, the spring, and the summer to get it to be a drivable vehicle of some sort. And unfortunately, 2 years ago, it was totaled in front of my house. I wasn't even home, just by a careless driver. Ever since that day, I have been hurting and waiting for the moment to be reunited with the ZJ once again. And today is that day. I actually found this on Craigslist a week ago, actually. It was last Monday that I found it on Craigslist. I reached out to the owner, and within a few days, I went there with my wife to take a look at it. Yeah, it is clean. And that was the big selling point for this one. I've found that it is very hard to find a ZJ these days that already hasn't been modified or doesn't have major body damage or especially unibody damage. My old 96 was, as I said, it was a rust bucket. It's unibody. It was really not even safe to drive, but at that time, I just wanted something to work on. But this time around, as I've been looking for the past couple years and waiting for that right perfect moment to go ahead and buy one, I wanted to make sure that the body was in almost perfect condition, because I understand they're not going to be absolutely perfect unless you're spending tens of thousands of dollars. And also the interior. I wanted the interior as well to be pretty much almost pristine. And I knew that was going to be hard to find. My old 96, the headliner was falling, the seats were leather, but all torn up. The dash was cracked. It was a mess. But as I stand here and look at this beautiful example of a ZJ, my 97 Grand Cherokee Laredo Sport, I am happy. I'm very excited for what's to come with this. Now, the one thing that I'll note before I get into the rest of it, when I was about to go take a look at this ZJ at the owner's house and potentially go purchase it, my wife actually surprised me. Our 10-year anniversary is coming up next month, and long story short, I didn't end up buying this ZJ, she did. And I was genuinely extremely surprised, and am just so grateful to have such a thoughtful, loving wife who listens to me complain, listens to me obsess and talk about over and over again how one day I need to be back in a ZJ. So she wanted to do something special for our anniversary coming up, and I gotta say, she really came through. She really did. So I genuinely cannot thank her enough, because now, being reunited with this beautiful example of a ZJ, let's go over this. So as I've already mentioned, the body is super clean. The only couple of issues that it has is there is hail damage on the roof. The previous owner had already replaced the hood, which is nice, and the hail damage on the roof isn't that bad. One purpose of this ZJ for me is to take miles off the Wrangler, honestly. The Wrangler's garage kept, and so will this ZJ be as well. But I wanted something that I will easily be able to take out no matter the weather, no matter the conditions, And once again, just take more of the city miles and nearby miles off the Wrangler and put it on this instead. So it's not gonna be some crazy off-roader. Now, I love the ZJs for what they are. And yes, they can be really capable because they are built like a Jeep should be, with solid front and rear axles. But it's gonna be a little more tame. I'm definitely gonna lift it, about maybe a 3-inch lift. I want to be able to put 31s on this. Actually, my old ZJ had my JL Sports 31s on it, so I'm probably going to end up doing the same thing in the beginning. But yeah, the body itself is pretty much pristine besides the hail, and then there is a little bit of rust underneath this trim panel right there on the rocker, but it doesn't go all the way across the rocker on the driver nor the passenger side. And then on the passenger side, the passenger rear door has a decently sized rust spot like this underneath the door handle that I'll be drilling out, cleaning up, and I'll figure out what I do. I actually kind of want to learn to tack in a piece of sheet metal and make it like one, but we'll see what I do. That's in the future. But besides that, once again, you can see it is clean. And besides that piece of rust there, the unibody is exceptional underneath, just absolutely exceptional. And it's a great example of a 28-year-old vehicle under there. Now, besides the body, the unibody, also the interior, I mentioned I wanted it to be near pristine, and I'm actually shocked at this example of a ZJ's interior. It has, from the factory, a black leather interior, and the previous owner, he told me that he made sure to condition the leather constantly, and his efforts really show. It is hard to see any cracking, any serious or major issues with the leather seats at all. You have both your front bucket seats and your rear bench. Everything is fully intact. The power seats in the front work. The dashboard is pristine, is not cracked. All the trim pieces on the dash are there and not cracked. The headliner, that is a really big thing. The headliner is there. The original headliner, it's not falling down, it is not sagging. The instrument panel works. The panel on the bottom, the screen right by your shifter, that's all operational. And even the ceiling display is functional. It shows your temperature, your cardinal directions, gas mileage, and things like that. The interior really is the standout feature of this ZJ, and that with the almost perfect exterior really made this kind of a no-brainer to get. We ended up getting it for $2,900, and that was after I had taken it out on a test drive. And I mean, right off the bat, I already know I am fully replacing all of the suspension components. Any bushings, any joints, any wearables, all of those are getting replaced underneath. But even with that, it still drove very well. Now, for the 5.2-liter V8, that drove very well as well, and I was pretty surprised. This ZJ has 204,000 miles on its 5.2 V8, and the owner informed me that he took a lot of care of it, replaced the oil every 3,000 miles, and kept up with all of the transmission, transfer case, diff, everything as he understood he had to. The one thing, though, that I already knew I was gonna do before even purchasing this ZJ was that no matter what engine it was or the mileage, I was definitely gonna be replacing everything that I could regarding wearables, gaskets, just things along those lines. And basically, I already had in mind that I was going to be overhauling the upper end of this engine with all new head gaskets, valve gaskets, intake manifold gaskets, spark plugs, things like that. I have a whole laundry list. And although it runs very well, I am pretty suspicious that there is a head gasket leak. I'm pretty sure this ZJ right now does have a blown head gasket. Now, the coolant is super clean. The oil is not milky at all. There's no check engine light, and it idles and runs very well. So why would I suspect that? Well, a couple things. The coolant, there is no visible external coolant leak, yet it is below the add line. So that's clue number one. And the second thing really is that the exhaust, I've seen on a couple of occasions already, white smoke steadily coming out of the exhaust, and the exhaust itself is very sweet smelling. And when you put your hand to it, even after it has warmed up, it's pretty damp. So if you have a wet, steamy exhaust that's sweet smelling, it's usually a blown head gasket. That, coupled with the fact that I have coolant that's just disappearing into thin air, pretty certain we have coolant going into the combustion chamber and coming out of our exhaust, which is not good because although it doesn't appear to be an issue right now for this engine, it can result in the engine overheating, not being properly lubricated, and eventually just warping the hell out of the damn thing, ruining it, basically, destroying it. So before I do anything that I want to do to this, which is a lift kit, new suspension, bigger tires, things like that, before we get to that at all, and before I even go and register this at the DMV, the first thing we're gonna do is tear open the upper part of this engine, replace all the seals, all the gaskets, inspect the head blocks, and see what's been going on. Make sure we put it back together with all fresh wearable components, all fresh seals, and also make sure that we stop any of the oil leaks that I've also very obviously noticed as well. I'm pretty certain the oil leaks are both coming from one of the heads as well as the valve covers. So, like I said, I need to make sure this thing is reliable before having any fun with it at all. But working in the engine bay, truly, that is part of the fun. And that is why I wanted to get reunited with a ZJ again and do some work on it. Because it is such a great feeling taking a vehicle that you love and making it good, right? So being reunited with the ZJ again is going to be such a great time that I'm very much looking forward to. Going to start with the engine, then I'm going to go to the suspension, then I'm going to go to the wheels and tires, upgraded brakes. I'm going to be doing some body work as well, and some other odds and ends, because it'll never be finished. I know that, but that's what I love about having a project car, if you will. And that pretty much is what this is. So a project car that in the end, I hope to be taking on trails, driving around town, and more importantly, I genuinely want to take this on road trips too. So you'll be seeing me and the ZJ a lot more on this channel as I build her up and then eventually take her on out. So stay tuned for those videos to come in the near future. So if you're excited for this ZJ build, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button as well so you can see all the latest and greatest videos that I put out regarding this beautiful 97 ZJ. Thank you very much for watching this welcome video for the ZJ on the channel, and I hope that I have nothing worse than a blown head gasket. If I have a cracked head, that's still not the end of the world, thankfully, but we're gonna see. So I guess we'll find out shortly. See you in the next one. No. Crank no start.